Hello, and welcome to the Exalted Empress Tarot. My name is Tiana, and I am the Exalted Empress. I'm so glad you found your way to court today. If this message found you, it was meant for you. Today's question is this fated change already in motion? What does Spirit want you to know about the next shift on your path? Today's reading is a pick a card reading, and if you have not done one of those before, I will walk you through it. So as you can see, we have 4 cards present with a paired crystal. And what you're going to do is you're going to pick which pile speaks to you based on the card you like the most or the crystal you would like the most. And after you have picked your pile, you will go to the timestamp below, pick your pile, and then see which message is for you. Okay? So the first card we have here is Uranus. Ooh, there you go. Uranus. And that is paired with the silicite, crystal. We have the Dream card with a little amethyst cluster. We have Cancer with a clear quartz crystal. And we have the Notice the Signs card with the pink opal. Now that you've seen all of your choices, I hope you can pick your pile, and I will see you in just one moment. Hello, group number 1. If you chose Uranus or the silicite crystal, you are in the right place. So again, the question for today is this fated change already in motion? We want to know what Spirit has in store for us next. What is the next big change in our life? So we have the Uranus card. That's your theme card for this reading, or your main theme card for this reading. I will get to that in a second, but first, let's pick a secondary theme card for you. That is Hannah, she who listens. Okay. Understanding, witness, compassion. Okay, she's not gonna fit down there. I'm gonna put her, boom, right here next to Uranus. Now let's get you some tarot cards so we can get a full message. Oh, come on. Don't be shy, Spirit. The 5 of chalices, the 5 of swords, the little glare, King of Swords. Making sure everything's even. I'll tell you right now, your theme card is on theme with the tarot deck. I got 3 more. See, we have, I'm gonna take from the top, Page of Chalices, the Wheel of Fortune, the Hierophant. Interesting. 2 more, Spirit. for a full message. Sorry, it is a new skill, trying to shuffle the filming equipment. So excuse me if I'm like shuffling all over your screen. 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. Interesting. Okay, so let me make sure this looks nice, you guys. Make sure everything has enough space to breathe. Okay. What do we think? See everything? Awesome. So the Uranus card is our first card. And I kid you not, in the book, the guidebook for this is the Child of the Universe Oracle deck. The 2-word description is revolutionary evolution. So yes, not only is this already in motion, you're probably feeling a little less steady on your feet. Things are happening for you right now, and they've probably either been happening, you've kind of seen it coming. There's something going on that is rocky in your life. However, I promise you, it is for your higher good. So basically what the Uranus card is telling us is there are radical truths that we may not have been paying attention to in our lives. And these changes are these upheavals, even though they're not expected, is kind of what happens when we are like, oh, that'll fix itself. That'll even out. Those people will start getting along when we don't want to change the thing that's within us, or we don't want to interfere with the situation outside of us. We don't want to make that decision. That's when things just kind of get off kilter. And you know what? Things will solve themselves, but how much you enjoy that process kind of depends on how much control not we take over other people or situations, but control we take on the things that we can control. Okay? And that's a little vague, but we've got cards left, okay? And so we have Hannah, she who listens, understanding, witness, compassion. So I'm kind of getting with this next big change that you will be experiencing. There's a situation where maybe we haven't been listening to another person, or listening to a person as much as we could have. I feel like there's someone that maybe we blew off. Maybe they're not the most eloquent in speech. Maybe they complain a lot. I don't know. But we didn't take them too seriously about something, a thing. And Spirit is guiding you to listen a little more to what that person has to say. You don't have to necessarily go to them, but maybe ponder it a little bit on your own time. Like, what were they trying to tell me? What were they trying to convey? Because I feel like there's an insight here where maybe you're the one who can put things into motion in this situation. You have more control over something big than you're giving yourself credit for. But it's something that's almost blind to you a little bit. Now, maybe not completely. Maybe once you start thinking about you and your interaction with this person, what they were trying to convey, it'll be more clear. But I think for your day-to-day, the message, what they were trying to tell you just didn't seem important. So you were just like, I have more, like, I got bigger fish to fry. And so you weren't as focused on what they had to say. But I mean, truly, like, And you know what? It would probably mean a lot to this person, whoever it is, if you came back to them and just being like, I was distracted. Could you please, just remind me, what were you trying to tell me about? Because I think it would mean a lot to them, and it might help soften this revolutionary evolution. Maybe it can just be, one of those. It doesn't have to be both at the same time. With the 5 of Chalices and the 5 of Swords, and the reason I'm kind of pushing out a lot of advice here is because the 5 of Chalices is talking about feeling as if, it's a lot of sadness, it's a lot of emotion, it's a lot of feeling bad for oneself. The good news is that it's usually something that you can change. It's usually something you have complete control in changing. It's just you really feel bad in the moment. So I really think getting the information that you need from this person, from the situation that maybe you blew up before, can really just turn this around. The 5 of Swords too, I'm just gonna get those now because the 5s are a little iffy. The 5s is fighting. So like I said, you have an idea of what this ruckus is about. There's people around you who are kind of going back and forth. So-and-so is upset with so-and-so. Like you have a general idea of what this rockiness is. And there's a lot of sword energy in here. Which, you know what? Sword energy can be a lot. It moves quickly. But the good news is the swords deal with a lot of truth, deal with a lot of facts. Okay? So the truth will be coming out in all of this. Okay? So whether you hear it first from this person or it comes out with everything else that's going on, at the end result will be that the truth and the information that you need is going to be coming out with this. With the King of Swords, I will say this is kind of going along with the rocky theme, is the King of Swords is all about facts. It's very Libran. It's about how things are supposed to go, the methodical step by step. It's about, again, honesty and looking at both sides. The thing that's kind of a downfall with the King of Swords, I'll be honest, it may not be my favorite, royal card, okay? Feel free to guess my favorite royal card in the comments below. But the thing that's kind of missing from the King of Swords is like the King of Swords doesn't really take into account emotions, okay? And that can be coming from you, it can be coming from the other person. I'm not sure, but either way, with the King of Swords energy, it might be both people are trying to get something across with this next change. At this moment, I actually feel that the reason that, now that I'm looking at it, the reason that there's so much upheaval or there's friction that you can feel that's building up is because the change can't happen because there's not this clarity. Okay, there's just not the clarity. The King of Swords doesn't take emotions into account. And it's not from wanting to be mean or nasty or anything like that. That's just not how the King of Swords works, okay? The King of Swords knows facts. The King of Swords knows process, okay? And feelings are nice, but that's not on the list. And with the Page of Chalices, which I like, which is probably what's causing the 5 of Cups, right? Is because people aren't feeling heard. So they're fighting over here. Swords are out. With the Page of Chalices, though, someone, thank goodness, is bringing these feelings and these emotions into light. And I feel like this definitely could be you in the situation. Maybe there's other people involved, but they're not the key players. The key players are you and the person that you're speaking to who has this information. Okay? They're bringing this emotion back to the King of Swords, whoever this King of Swords person is. And they're saying, look, we need to take some feelings into account, or the other functional stuff just isn't going to happen. It's not going to work. If we just take everyone's feelings and we go, we don't need that, you're going to find out real quick, like, yes, you do. People will let you know their feelings, whether you want them to or not. So we need to make room for that. And that's when the Wheel of Fortune comes in. Okay. Yeah. So this is really all about communicating so that we can have a smoother transition into a higher level of functioning in something. This could be career, could be family. I feel like it involves a group of some sort. I don't feel like this is like a one-on-one romantic thing. But for this big shift to happen in this group, whether it's career or family, for you to really like ascend and to make a lot of progress, we need to have the clarity of communication. We need to have people to be able to express their feelings. And I think having this view of it, of not being so strict in sort of protocols and things like that, is really what's going to turn the Wheel of Fortune in your favor. We're going to go from rocky, 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 someone's crying, rocky, 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 to having a more smooth process. With the Hierophant here, this is about tradition. And that's interesting because, you know, with the Hierophant, it can still be considered rigid, right? Like if you're following something and doing things the way they've been done for generations, you know, it's rigid, right? Or it can be seen as rigid, but it's a different rigidness, we'll say, than the process maybe of the King of Swords, right? Because we're not taking the feelings out of it with the Hierophant. You know, your feelings toward tradition may vary, but in the sense of just like what traditions may be, I'm seeing that we're being able to move this process forward of what you're involved in. We're still going to be able to follow the rules, but we're going to marry in what people feel is most respectful in this movement forward, in this ascension. I'm trying to say this in like one word that makes the most sense. We're going to progress forward in the most positive way, and there's going to be growth. There's going to be a lot of growth in this process. And I feel like this may take some time. This may take a lot of time once we start bringing kind of the emotional component towards it. And I feel almost like that there's a relief, but there's also some uncomfortable feelings in not having that friction. And I say that because there we have the Nine of Swords here, which is our thoughts and having negative thoughts and just like having that hamster wheel of negativity in the background. What's interesting though is that we have this Nine of Swords immediately into the Ten of Swords, which the Ten of Swords essentially means that a situation is done and over with. And I honestly think following the Nine of Swords, that's kind of a good thing. The Ten of Swords also, mentions exhaustion. So I think a lot of energy is going to go into handling the situation and moving it forward and having things come out in a very positive way. And so, I mean, it may be emotionally draining. It may be very draining because you're maybe used to, or the King of Swords person is used to working from a different mindset of functionality over everything else. But don't let that hold you back and make you think, oh, this next phase of my life, like, it just isn't going to happen. I'm not going to reach this goal. I'm not going to finish this big project. I'm not going to get this promotion. Me and my family aren't going to, like, hit this goal. We aren't going to get that house, yada, yada, yada. Like, don't think that. Like, you're going to get what you're working towards. It just may go a different route than what you were originally thinking it would be. Give me 1 second. So let me see if I can get clarity on what the actual next phase will be. Like, once you get through this, what will the actual next phase? Okay, we're just Six of Pentacles. Pentacles. Oh, that's it? That's all I get is the one card? Come on. What is the next phase? What are they moving towards, Spirit? Wow. Okay. We have Judgment, Eight of Wands. Okay. I know you can see that. It's on frame. No. There we go. I have one more card. Sorry. This fit in here. I just want to make sure you can see all your cards. We may have to go through these a little faster so you're not here for extended amount of time. So first things first, we have Judgment and then Eight of Wands. So we have Judgment coming in fast. Strength. Six of Pentacles, which is nostalgia, and Page of Pentacles at the end. This is going to launch you into a greater idea. This process, it's hard and seems like it's lacking some clarity and communication and addressing people's feelings and all this, and then you communicate it. You're going to wish you had things the way they were or in the past, but you're going to get something that's so much better. You're going to get through all this, you're going to get tired, you're going to be like, ugh, why did that have to happen? And then your next shift in life is going to be and even bettered you to have something even greater than you were even planning for. So do not stay in the Ten of Swords energy of being tired and being done for too long, because there is something really positive in store for you that's just around the corner for this. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend it, whatever the source of information is that you've been maybe not paying attention to going back to that and getting all the information in hand so that this smooths everything over a lot faster and you can move through this shift in your life into this new idea that's going to bring you a bunch of abundance as quickly as possible. And if this resonated for you, if the crown fits, feel free to join our court, like or subscribe, and I will see you next time. Okay, welcome group number 2. If you picked the dream card or the amethyst, you are in the correct space. And our question for the day is this fated change already in motion? What is Spirit trying to tell you about your next shift in life? So I will get to your message in just one moment, but first I am going to shuffle for you and get some of these cards and get a clear message. We have the 7 of Chalices, 4 of Swords, the Sun, and the Lovers. One second. Also, the Dream card is your main theme card, and this, sorry, the Alcohol deck will be your second theme card. Give me a second and I will straighten these cards out for you. There you go. Come on. The cards have been like, there you go. Okay, it's a news to go try and do a shuffle around the camera card. It's she who waits and she who questions. Patience, waiting, determination, curiosity, destiny, search. Scroll, no wait. Yes, search, right. Let's see. So she just barely fits. I'll put that there. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna get some more cards. Oh my. Okay, sorry. That just seemed like too many cards at once. Okay, let's shuffle them properly. What does pile 2 have next? Is it already set in motion? Eight of Chalices. Okay. Can we get a couple more cards on a group 2 situation? 3 cards. Okay. We have 6 of Wands, Page of Pentacles, and 9 of Wands. Let's see here. Let's space these out a little more, and I will shuffle again if need be. I think we have a clear message. Group 2. Okay. So, first of all, with the dream card, it's literally talking about dreams, but also, of course, figuratively. If you've been seeing repeated, reoccurring dreams, it's very important at this time for the next fated change in your life that you pay attention to what your dreams are telling you. It's really, really important. There's something that's coming through if you're having these reoccurring dreams that are telling you about your next stage in life and where you should go. And I think that you feel that intuitively, but you may be pushing it down, and that's why it's coming up in your dreams. Now, it could be a goal and career, it could be a person. I am saying that because I see the Lovers here. Or it could be someone new coming in. It could be travel. It could also be, it doesn't have to be something that you know the ending to. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, I know for a fact I've always dreamt of, I don't know, going to this foreign country, and then you go to this foreign country. It doesn't have to necessarily be goal related. It could be like, gosh, I really have this feeling that, you know, I should learn this skill set, and I really want to learn this skill set. And you're not necessarily doing that with like an intention in mind, but then you could go and try to learn that thing and then end up meeting someone there, right? Whether that's like a lover or someone who could help you in some other capacity. So I feel like your next phase, your next shift that Spirit is trying to tell you about is Spirit is literally speaking to you in your dreams or through your intuition. And this is a time to really look into that. With She Who Waits and She Who Questions, I'm seeing that's just supporting the dream card, okay? Because you're waiting and questioning this message that's coming in. Okay, whatever you're feeling could be your next move. You're thinking to yourself, I feel like this is happening. I'm not sure if it's the right move, or I'm wondering why I'm having this feeling that I should talk to so-and-so or should do this thing. Know that if you're feeling a strong, like, gut feeling or emotional guidance to do something, then that's probably, you know, the intuition we're talking about that Spirit is trying to relay to you at this time. So then we have the 7 of Chalices. And now that I'm thinking about it, this may lean more towards a love reading, actually. This next phase may be love coming in. I hesitate to say that because I'm not super focused on love reading specifically. The reason I'm saying that now is because I'm seeing that we have the 7 Chalices here, and we're talking about choice, intuition, and choice. And what choice do we want to make? Some people don't like the 7 of Chalices. They're like, but I like the 7 of Chalices because it means you have choices to pick from. And I think that your intuition is kind of driving you, whatever these choices are. Maybe they're people on the apps, maybe it's a work thing. But for the next thing coming in, I think that you're being offered a lot of choices that you just don't care for. And that's kind of making me lean more towards, for more of you, it may be more of a love reading, because we have 4 swords after the 7 chalices, and it's like, you need rest. You need time and space and rest from looking at like, oh, I have all these choices, I have all these choices, I have all these choices. And you don't even want those choices. You need space and time to figure out what you actually are looking for and what you actually want to shift towards, instead of wearing yourself out, like looking through all of that. And I think that's what's moving on here, through here, and what's moving through this intuition is that, because the sun is the happiest card in the deck, like even if it were in reverse, which I'm not reading reversals for this particular reading, but the sun is the happiest card in the deck, even if it were reversed. And it's right next to the Lover's card. So I see a really, really, really strong, happy, beneficial connection coming in your next phase in life. But it's not going to come to you in the way that you think it is. All these choices and all that stuff, that's not going to be it. It's going to be once you rest. Once you take some time for yourself. I'm feeling, you know what I'm feeling? And yeah, this is going to be something very triangulated. This is going to be something where, you know, you're like, I'm done with dating and now I have free time because I'm not swiping like nonstop. And then you're like, you know what? I've always wanted to do horseback riding. And you start taking horseback riding. And then 2 months in, you meet somebody else who's like taking their daughter to horseback riding lessons. And then you meet this amazing individual. Like, that's the kind of thing that I'm kind of feeling right now, is that you're going to meet this person. And again, if you're like, I'm with somebody, like I don't need a love reading to meet someone, maybe it's business, maybe it's some other issue that you're having a hard time finding the person to help you solve that issue, right? Like if you need something fixed around the house and you've already called so many repair people and they're either just the rudest or their prices are just insane. And then again, you go somewhere not even thinking about that. You're like, go to get coffee, and then there's someone there, right, who can help you. So yeah, like I really think that trusting your intuition and maybe even being just a little laissez-faire with your day, just kind of seeing where things take you, can start moving you forward in a way that you weren't expecting. There may be some kind of, even if it's not exactly choices, but kind of going through the same thing and not really paying attention because you're just doing the same thing that you always do every day, and that's keeping you from like bumping into people and doing the whole social web and finding someone new, right? Because you're doing the same thing in the same place with the same people, so you don't end up branching out. Yeah, and I kind of get like a mini version of this again. So 8 of Chalices is kind of moving away from something that's not really serving you, a situation, and it could be a situation that's not bad. So another thing that may be holding you back is that you are somehow, you think what situation you're in right now isn't really that bad, so you're not motivated to leave it. Right? Like when you're like, maybe you're casually talking to someone and there isn't like a problem, so you're not moving on from there. Or again, it could be something else, like work or outside life, not dealing with love related. But what I see here is once you move forward from that, you have the 6 of Wands, which is a victory. So I fully think that Leo, and that again may go back to the questioning and the waiting and listening to your intuition. This thing may not be a bad thing, but is it serving you? Are you getting what you need from that situation, from that person. Because if you're not, that doesn't make sense. If you're not meshing, then why stay there? Right? At the end of the day, if something's not working for you, staying there forever doesn't make sense. So listen to your intuition, especially if you're having a dream about this person or the situation. What is the dream telling you? What are your vibes? What are your feelings when you're there? And, let go of what you need to let go of. Or, distance yourself or change the relationship. Of course, it depends on a lot of things. But I would pay attention to that, because you may be being held back by something that you think is completely benign. And maybe it is completely benign, but it's just not for you. And obviously what's for you, your next stage, which you're moving towards in life, is really happy, okay? Again, you have the sun and the lovers right next to each other. I see a really happy relationship happening. So you want to get rid of any daily weight. You want to get rid of any processes that aren't working for you. And what's interesting with Six of Wands is then you have the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like once you get rid of this person may be coming in before you've let this go. Right? And so this person may be looking at the situation going like, oh, I can't enter into this. I can't enter into this relationship because this person is super busy. I never get the chance to talk to them because this person is always coming in with this other individual and I can't tell if they're together or not. This person is like, I feel like right on the line of whatever is going on over here that you're not letting go of. Like truly, I see them maybe like introducing themselves, or like this is someone maybe that you've seen but you haven't spoken to somewhere, and then once this stops, this person is able to speak to you. So just keep that in mind. That something else really good can be coming in and you'll be holding yourself back because you're not letting go of something that's not for you. And then we have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is feeling a little beat up, okay, and feeling like something is finally over. It may be that like you're so close to something and you're dealing with something for so long that you don't realize how much it's been interfering with what you want until it leaves, and then you're like, oh, now that it's gone, right, and you're relieved, now you can see how much weight it had on you. Now, I want to hear more about the Sun and the Lovers. I'm sure you do too. So, now that we kind of know what is happening kind of before this shift, is there anything else that Spirit wants to talk about the actual shift, or the next thing that's happening? What are we moving toward? What is the next phase actually going to look like? Ooh, okay. These all come out together, and we have the Magician, the King of Chalices, and the Six of Chalices. So yeah, so this is really good. So we have the Magician, and the Magician card is saying you have everything you need in order to do something, in order to move forward. So I feel like you've done all your inner healing already, and you're ready. You're ready. And I think that maybe why you were trying so many different things, and then you were with someone who was, again, maybe really stable person, maybe very benign, like you didn't have any real big issues, but it just wasn't happening, because you've got everything you need now. And maybe in the past you had some more toxic relationships or toxic people around you, and you're like, gosh, I don't want to like move on from this person who's not bad just because things aren't like crazy exciting. But what I'm seeing is you're like the prize. You're very stable in what you have going on for you, and you're gonna connect with someone who's right on your level. With the King of Chalices, this is someone who is very stable in their emotions. Okay, they are very clear-headed. They have their stuff together just like you have your stuff together, and truly, like, this is going to be so great once you move on, for it is no longer serving you. And then I have the Six of Chalices. And what the Six of Chalices is telling you is being nostalgia. So I have a feeling this person is either someone you know from a long time ago, again, someone you've seen or interacted with a little bit, but there wasn't a reason for you to speak, so you'll recognize them, but you don't necessarily know them. Or they just remind you, they have a feeling of home. They have a feeling of you're home with them. I think that's so beautiful. I really think your next phase is going to be in this new relationship. It's just really going to feel very peaceful. And it's not going to feel like I'm with someone who's like nice, but like we don't have what we need to have in common, or doesn't feel like it's going to move forward in a great way. Yeah. Yes, this is looking really good for you, group number 2. If this spoke to you, if this resonated, if the crown fits, you know what to do. Please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your reading. If you picked the Cancer card or the clear crystal quartz, you're in the right place. So, Cancer, that is your main theme card for today. Let's go ahead and pick you out a second one. Ooh, here we go. She Who Dreams. Escape Dream Fantasy. Ooh, I love this one. Okay. Going to go ahead, put these here. I didn't even put this. No, here. I'm gonna put them here. It doesn't fit. And I will grab some more cards for you. And remember, the question for today is this fated change already in motion? What does Spirit want you to know about your next stage? So, Spirit, if we could have some cards to tell group 3. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong way. Please not count those as your cards. 1 second. And we have Page of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, and the Lovers. Noise. Let's see what else we can get here. Oh, okay. We have Queen of Swords. I love it. Let's see if we can fit them all in. Let's scoot this over. Neat. There we go. And Four of Chalices, interesting. Oh, wow. Magician card. That's the only card that has, I feel like, this little cartoony hat. And so I only need to see part of that hat and I know. Magician. Let's see what else we have. Can we get 2 more cards, Spirit? About the next phase for group 3, what they have in motion. Okay, we got 2 cards. Perfect. You know, Spirit has really been working with me today, and I appreciate that. Tower. 5 Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, we're going to have to pull more cards. I want some clarity. But let's start with this. So this was supposed to be the next stage in life, or Moon Dream Report. It was not supposed to be a love reading, or at least not for everybody. This is the second pile that got love as a theme, but I mean, I'm not against a love message. Why not, right? Why not be romantic? So I want all the cards to fit, and it's not happening right now. There we go. That's what I like to see. Okay. Now that I'm not bothered by things being off, I can move forward. So, with the Cancer card, Cancer is a water sign, and Cancer has a lot of focus on emotion, understanding. Okay, if you were drawn to pile 2, this is now the second time we have dreams coming up. And I'm getting a feeling that you are a hopeless romantic. You're someone who's in love with love. You are thinking of your next person. But I feel like you have maybe a career or some other project in your life right now that you feel like is in the way. And the reason I said this is because the Page of Pentacles is here. And I feel like your new idea, your new thing that you're kind of going towards in life, is not specifically love focused. And if you're someone you're like, I'm not really focused on love right now, it could be that you're focused on then the material things on purpose. But still, this reading is going to work out for you because love is coming in, and it may be a distraction for what you were originally focused on. Because I'm seeing here that you have this idea for something material, whether it's a business idea, career, just like some project you're putting a lot of work into. And then with the 4 Swords coming in, Spirit is telling you to rest. Spirit is telling you to rest. And then we have the Lovers come in. Again, a lot of similarities with the last group. I feel like for your next phase, you're going to have someone coming in that's unexpected. And this person who comes in who's unexpected, you're going to try to push them away. You're going to be like, nope, I don't see them that way. I don't really find them appealing. I mean, maybe they're a good person. I don't want them. And the Queen of Swords is asking you to be honest with yourself and with your emotions. What I love about this particular Queen of Swords card, she has the vase, and she's pouring water onto herself. The Queen of Swords is more favorable than the King of Swords in a sense, because she actually has that balance of, yes, I want the truth, I want honesty, I want facts, I want things in their correct order, but I care about how people feel. I am keeping that in mind when I'm making these factual decisions. And I think the reason you have her here afterwards is it's like she's telling you, this person who's coming in, it's worth giving them a chance. And to be honest with how you feel towards them. Because they could be your next chapter. And it would be a shame to push that person away when there wasn't a real reason. Like, you can move forward in career and material matters, and then also pay attention to your feelings and your romantic life. Because let's be real, like, if you're not doing anything on the emotional side, you're not having any connections, and you're just doing work, it's kind of boring as well, right? It may not be, but Spirit is saying what's there, that this love is coming in, and maybe you should be honest about how you feel about that. With the Four of Chalices, I see you again like turning something away. The Four of Chalices, it's the Four Cups in a traditional tarot, is you just not being interested in what's offered to you. And this is really interesting. You have a lot of major arcana cards. The Magician and the Tower together. I think usually I usually see the Magician as being really positive. And the Tower, no one's really a big fan of the Tower card. But what I'm seeing in this case is the Tower here is your belief that you can do everything on your own, because Magician is having everything you need in order to get by. The Tower is breaking that belief. It's going, stop. Like, maybe you do have everything you need to get by, but is that even what you want? With a Capricorn energy, Eugene. Especially if you're someone who's, dreaming for a new relationship, a new person to come into your life. Are you standing in your own way because you're like, oh, I have this other project right now, I can't, and you're being like really melodramatic, like, how will I have a relationship when I have this really important essay to write? Like, you can do both those things. You can have your romantic relationship, and you can have these other projects. You can do both those things at the same time. And the Tower, I think, is really breaking that down. And the Five of Pentacles, this is really interesting. I'm thinking that maybe, too, there's something going on in the financial sector that may be a driver for this other project. You're like, oh, I really want to make this work because I'm short on cash, or, I just want to live a more comfortable life. I want, more spending money for, I don't know, whatever you would spend that on, whatever your hobbies or interests are. And so you're like, I want this project to work because I want to be able to do these other things. And Spirit's really encouraging you to focus more on emotional matters that are going to fulfill you more if you're someone who's drawn, whether you're a Cancer, you're actually a Cancer or not. In this case, the cards, your theme cards are saying you are someone who, feels very deeply. You have big dreams about things that aren't work or career related. You are someone who cares very much about the relationships they have with other people. And if that's the case, then, even if you want these other material things, they're not going to matter to you that much. You're going to put all this work into it, and you're going to be like, why? Why did I do that? So let's get some more cards. That's what your next stage, next phase in life. Let's see. Spirit, what else do you have for group 3 in their next phase? Life. Anything else that you can tell me about that? Four of Pentacles. Let's see. Pentacles. Sorry, it is. I'm having to shuffle around my filming equipment, and it has been interesting this whole time. Okay, Page of Swords. Interesting. Okay. Let me get one more card. Oh, didn't even have to ask for it. Oh, I got two more cards. Okay. Spirit is tired of me. Okay, we have Daniels. Oh. And the Star. I love the Star card. Can we put this in? No. Okay. I'm gonna put it like this. It's still in here. Star. So the Four of Pentacles is holding tightly. So instead of low on cash, I'm getting that you're just hoarding it. maybe it's different for everybody here. It may not be that you have any, you may be fine, but you don't even very monetarily focused at this time. I truly think that's it's just a distraction. It's just a distraction. At the Page of Swords, I feel like that new truth, maybe this video, I don't know. But you're realizing that. You're realizing for yourself. And maybe it'll take another more time too, even though you've already watched this video. But it'll come to you that, wait a second, like, is this really by itself, whatever this goal or this hobby is doing it for me? Or do I need to have this other side fulfilled as well? Of the Eight of Pentacles, I feel like working towards something, this career thing, or this hobby, or whatever you're putting more money, if your effort into, I feel like it's gonna come to fruition either way. I don't think you need to put all of your focus on it. I don't think you need to be 110% all the time. I actually think that if you do your own thing, you'll be surprised how this ends up all coming together without you having to put your entirety into it. And then with the Star card, that is a healing card. That is everything coming back together. I think in this next phase, when you have this hobby kind of come into control, I think that it just will really balance you out. Whatever feelings you've had previously, if you've been feeling down because something felt off, I think it may be just if you haven't been allowing yourself to truly feel your feelings about the situation, and that something's been missing, which may, just be that you haven't been allowing people to come in. And in this case, for your next phase in life, that would be another romantic partner, or if you already have a romantic partner, more relationships and connections in some way. Don't focus everything on the material, huh? Awesome. And of course, if you want more advice or anything, you can always come back here. If this resonated, if the crown fits, you know what to do. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Hello, group number 4. If you pick the pink opal or the Notice the Signs card, then you are in the right place, and this message is for you. So, the Notice the Signs card is your first vibe check summary card for this reading, and then I'm gonna go ahead and draw you another one. So Spirit, can we get a summary card? Oh, okay. Desert, right? I would love to pick up this card. She who yearns, yearn, longing, pine for. Interesting. You know, this was supposed to be a all life, anything reading, and I don't know. Spirit has hijacked my reading and has made it, the last two piles, romantic. We will see what happens with this one. Okay. What else? What else do we have for pile number 4? The next phase of life. What does Spirit want them to know? Okay. The Queen of Pentacles. Huh. These are a little sideways in a second. Here you go. Okay, Knight of Swords. Oh wow, okay, a whole bunch of cards came out. Knight of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. Oh well, okay, so I really thought I'm gonna be romantic again. I don't know. 5 of Pentacles here. Let's get these over a little bit. Page of Pentacles. These 3 cards have been coming out a lot lately. Let's see. Lovers. This is uncommon, by the way, guys. Like, there's 78 cards in an average tarot deck, and I'm getting, Jesus, 10 of Wands. Okay, so this is the Hangman. The Hangman, 10 of Swords, 7 of Swords. We're gonna come back to that, okay? Because everything does not fit on the screen. Let's go here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and read for you guys the Desiree card, because that's actually not a card I get too often. I want to make sure I get the right meaning for this one. Desiree. The message of this card is to commit fully to your wants or admit you are simply stuck in the mode of pining for what you cannot reach. Your energy is at stake here. You shed yourself of what you do not need in order to gain what is you really want. Are you unsure of your yearning? Wishful thinking has its place, but now is the moment to drive forward to your goal or set the goal aside. The moon is reachable if you dedicate the resources necessary. Okay. Interesting. So, the Notice the Signs card is pretty straightforward, okay? The universe is trying to speak to you. The universe is trying to tell you something very important. And there are synchronicities out there. You may already have noticed them. I'm seeing a lot of birds in here, so I don't know. Oh, you know what? There's birds and then there's a feather. So you may be seeing something to do with birds, feathers in your day-to-day life. Doesn't have to be the case, but I do think that Spirit is showing you something. You're seeing some sign, some message repeatedly. And because of that, for your next stage, it's going to have something to do with these other signs that you've been seeing. I mean, maybe, you're seeing something else aligned with this video as well. But I think in your everyday life, you're seeing something come up over and over again. And that is your sign from Spirit. And it's going to have something to do with this yearning. So there's something that you want that you haven't completely gone forward for. And with the Queen of Pentacles and then the Page of Pentacles, I'm seeing that you have the materials needed to move forward. So if you've been telling yourself, like, She Who Yearns card says, if you've been telling yourself that you don't have the materials needed to move forward, I feel like that's just kind of an excuse. You know, you're saying you don't know how to move forward, and so that's why you can't reach this goal, reach this thing that you're trying to move towards. But Spirit is telling you, no, you can. We're going to show you. We're going to have these signs. We're going to have these synchronicities. You have what you need, whether those materials are just like the cash on hand, the skill set, the knowledge. Like, you have what you need and you can move forward. And with the Knight of Swords, I feel like things are going to move forward very quickly once you come to that conclusion, and you really let it sink in. Like, once you really let it sink in, like that you have what you need and you can move forward, that's when you're going to start to see the wheels turning for this next phase, okay? You have to trust that you actually have that and you move forward. The Knight of Pentacles, I feel like you are actually much closer to getting for yourself what you need and towards your more of your goals than you realize. I think you think you're stuck. I think Spirit thinks that you think you're stuck, but you actually can move forward. Knight of Pentacles is actually the wish fulfilled card. So you're very close. Okay? The things you want in your next phase, but you're holding yourself back. And again, this like 5 of Pentacles card, I think it's you telling yourself, oh no, I don't have it. I need this. I need to go over here. I need to go over there. I need to do all these things first before I can achieve what I want. And I think these are just ways of expressing fear. This fear that's like holding you back, making you think that you don't have what you need, that you're not actually ready. Like, you are ready. You are. You're more than ready. You're more than prepared for your next phase. And the Page of Pentacles too, that can be new ideas come in. I'm feeling like that with the Yearns. I feel like this is almost like indecision. Like, every time you think you're going to move forward, you think about something new you could do instead, how you could add on to it, how you could this, how you could that. I think the Page of Pentacles is telling you to slow down with all these ideas, especially that with the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords is actually rest. Keep things simple for now so that you can just like go forward towards your goals. I think that's truly what's going on here. Like, do not bog things down by thinking too much and like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta. No, you don't. Like, if you're coming up with new ideas to solve a problem and something wasn't working and you replace it with a new idea, that's one thing. But if you're just kind of, this has to be perfect, or you're telling yourself you need more stuff before you can move forward, I would leave that alone. I'm just interesting here. I'm seeing with the Lovers. I know it's the Lovers card, and I know I thought with the Lovers and this may be another love reading, but I'm seeing the Lovers in this case as a business partner or someone that can help you on your way. I think there's something else, this other person coming in who's going to be a big help to you. They have either advice or they have resources that you don't have. And even though you have what you need to move forward, I think once you start moving forward and you have some momentum, I think this person's going to come in and they're really going to help you out in the end. I think for this next project you have going on, even if you don't need someone to push it forward, you're going to get that extra help. Especially, and two, with this Knight of Swords, it's really interesting. You have two people. The Knight of Swords is usually one person, right? It's the Knight of Swords, not like the Army of Swords. So I think what this is depicting, that you're going to have that help come in when you least expect it. You're not going to have it now. Someone's not going to drag you out and be like, here, accomplish your goals, do it this way. But once you're seen putting in that work and putting that momentum on your end, somebody else is going to come in and be like, hey, I can help you do this even faster. I can help you do this more efficiently. I can help you get to the next level. And then we have 10 of Wands. And the 10 of Wands is about being tired and burdened, something needing to let things go. And I think in your case, what you need to let go, or whatever these excuses are that you're telling yourself that's keeping you from you getting to where you can go. Okay, keeping you from getting to where you need to go, where you want to go, wherever your dreams are telling you could be. Okay, so we have the Hangman. Okay. We have the 10 of Swords. And we have the 7 of Swords. Okay. So this is kind of a confirmation of what we've been talking about. We have the Hangman, which is being in place and not moving forward. So we're just saying again, you may feel like you're stuck, like they said in the Desiree card, which is nice to when cards agree with each other. And they give you that same message. You're probably feeling stuck because you're thinking too much. You're coming up with all these reasons you can't do it. You're creating obstacles for yourself. And with this 10 of Swords, I'm feeling like it's not a true 10 of Swords for you. I feel like you've already told yourself you're done and that something can't work out. And so you never have to risk trying. And with the 7 of Swords here, 7 of Swords is like, you know, it's really interesting. 7 of Swords is usually like trickery or someone doing something in a nefarious way. But there is someone who I've seen their readings and they talk about the 7 of Swords as sometimes being about being creative. And I think for you, it's not how I normally read it, but I think that's how I'm reading it for you in this case. Like, I think you truly need to be creative, not necessarily in how you put yourself into this next phase with these ideas, but maybe in how you talk to yourself, your inner thoughts, how you guide yourself through this possible project. You know, when those thoughts come up that you can't do it, or you need things to be perfect, or things aren't how you want them to be, really pause for a second and tell yourself, like, is this true? Is this real? Or am I telling myself something to hold myself back? Because I think this project you have on for your next phase is going to be really good. I think it's going to work really well for you. And I think that you're holding your back something great because you're making things up in your mind about how it can't work and it can't be successful and all that stuff. I think that the opposite is true, especially because the card says that you're going to have someone come in with Lovers who's going to be a great business partner or hobby partner or what have you, project partner, who's going to be able to come in and help you out. So I actually think your next phase is going to be really exciting, and you're going to be able to make whatever dream, whatever passion that you've been hoping to come to fruition. I think you're going to be able to do that. So truly trust yourself and come up with a positive mantra if you need to remind yourself how awesome you are, okay? So, I hope that resonated. And if the crown fits, you know what to do. Hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.